Thank you for staying with us. You're still watching Breakfast in Bed. Like I said, we have a guest in the house, and we're talking about something very interesting, something that has to do with not just the younger ones, but the older ones. My guest is Olulade Bethel Omoniyi. Is a youth development advocate, a life coach, and public servant. Now, if you're very conversant with Breakfast in Bed, you would have seen his face a few times. It's one of the fillers we use for drug abuse. So he spoke about drug abuse at a time for Breakfast in Bed. So he's our guest today, and we're talking about pressure, performance, and pain. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now, let's get into the topic. So, over the years, for many years, people feel that when it comes to pressure, the younger ones are the ones that face pressure. And when you get to a certain age, pressure is always just the younger ones and not the older ones. But these days, we've seen a difference. Even the older ones face pressure. So, we'll talk about that in a jiffy. But let's go on a quick break. We'll be right back. Thank you for staying with us. Our guest is still here, Olulade Bethel Omoniyi. Now, let's talk about it. Pressure, performance, and pain. So like I said, people feel the younger ones are the ones that face pressure, and the older ones, well, they outgrow it and they feel better. What are your thoughts?
Well, again, thank you for having me this morning, and good morning, Lagos. For me, we don't outgrow pressure. And the truth about it is everybody's giving or taking pressure. You know, earlier in the hours of today, I was thinking about it. I realized that even coming inside here, I'm giving pressure because I had to put pressure on this chair. You know, and I'm also taking pressure daily. It's hard to master it because we grew up hearing about peer pressure. But right now we live in a world where, whether you like it or yes, there's pressure everywhere. An average person is using an iPhone, you know, but there's still pressure. Because there's someone on that same level using a Pro Max. And whether you like it subconsciously, there's a bit of pressure. Especially when you see people that you earn more using something better, there's pressure. So for me, everybody gives and everybody takes pressure. It's now understanding how to master it. That life will forever give you pressure till you leave, and you can't leave this world alive. You know, so pressure is a constant thing all through our life. And how we manage it, that's important, and that's what counts.
But so are people immune to pressure? When I say immune, that means they just never feel, or maybe they mastered it. They just never feel the pressure. No matter what you do, it just never gets to them.
So you can't be immune to pressure. You can only master it. It's an art that can be mastered. I was talking with my baby earlier on when we got here, and we were discussing this whole pressure thing. And I said, for someone who has mastered pressure, but all of a sudden hears about the demise of loved ones, do you get? No matter how, you know, how much you've mastered that pressure, you hear a news that actually shakes you. But because you're a master of it, it shakes you for a while. Then you begin to arrange yourself. You know, people get angry based on pressure. The same thing that gets someone into breaking a flower vase happens to somebody else, and the other person will not take that action. So I have this that I say, you react or you respond.
So I'm going to let you guys, but we talked about the demise of someone, and this is something that I've actually thought about it. It's been a concern to me, and I'm happy you raised it because I've had this conversation with someone recently, and sometimes I feel, is it an issue or is it just normal for me? So this is the way it works for me. Now, when someone very close to me passes on, I sleep very well that night, better than other nights. I sleep very well. I'm not bothered. I'm not thinking about anything. I sleep very well. Or when I have an altercation with somebody, and it's very, you know, some people would always be on their minds, I sleep perfectly, I'm not bothered. I think when those things happen, that is when I tend to sleep better, and I tend to have like a sort of peace. So I'm always wondering, is it me? Is it that I've found a way to manage pain? Is there an issue? Is there something wrong, or it's just normal?
No. What you've been able to do is learn to respond and not react. Most people react. And when you react to a situation, there's that chances that you react wrongly. But in the place of responding is where you take your time. Like you sleep over it. But trust me, you've had time where you remember that person and there's a feeling.
Oh yes. Yes, but that would be later.
Now is you're responding to it. It's not like you're rich, like someone, this person dies, and instead of, crying and all that, the person goes to have dinner, goes to bed, because there's nothing you want to react about that brings the dead back. It's not that you won't have the feeling in maybe 2 days later and you sit down, maybe tears will drop. At that point you're responding. But, okay, I'll give you an example. Growing up, there was someone who died, and this happened in my family, and this auntie was coming, and she got close to my dad's place, and she started shouting and jumping, and my dad got angry and said, "Wait, leave her. You definitely took buses before you got to this place. How did you make it here without shouting and screaming? But you got here now, and all of a sudden you want to cause this unnecessary drama. Leave her." And that was, I saw that growing up, that no, you actually should respond to situation and not react, and that would help you master pressure. And that's what you've been able to do.
No, okay.
So yeah, we definitely live in a society where obviously every day you get pressured. Yeah, so how do we manage it?
Okay, thank you very much. So, for me, I'll talk from the standpoint that once you understand that you are also a giver. I always say this, that can you take what you give? So once I understand that, see, I'll give pressure today. So when I see pressure, I embrace it. Because the truth is, pressure should bring out, we always say, should bring out what you have inside of you, like the education, gotten from the Latin word educo, which is to bring out that which you have in you. So daily you understand that I'm going to respond to people and not react. So an average person going out every day should have it in his mind. If you're using a public transport, the conductor will give you pressure. Do you understand? And I talk about energy a lot. If you leave your house with good energy, understand that there are people out there with negative energy. And once you trade your energy, they give you theirs. And that can mess up your day. So once you have your own energy and you surround yourself that this is how my energy is going to be today, when they bring it, when you see pressure, you embrace it, you can convert. Do you understand? It's when we react immediately to things that it gets out of, you don't really want to fight that person. You, in your mind, you're saying, no, I'm not going to.
Trying to ignore.
But the moment you say one word leads to the second word. You check people who fought. You ask them, say, and I don't want to fight that guy, but he pressure me. The truth is, pressure will come. But once you know that, I would also give pressure to people. So when I see pressure, I respond to it, not react. And that way you can manage pressure properly.
So I want to bring a question out of what you said earlier on. That's okay, the younger ones and the older ones, they go through pressure and they go through pain. Okay, more of the younger people these days, they go through pressure actually because of age or because of their peer group and so on. Speaking of the older ones now, how do you think that they've been able to manage pressure? Is it because of their age, they've gone past it, and also do they still go through pain? Because most of them still go through pressure, especially when it comes to their children or probably their workspace.
We as adults today, we really do not have what they have now. So I can tell you, a large percentage of adults have bottled pain. Most people are reacting based on bottled pain growing up. Still there, they've not been able to release it. So an average adult is proactive to react because of how we grow up. I look at, a few days ago, I saw something called pancreas. The site of pancreas is already pressured. That's the cane. When you see, even if you go to your friend's house and you see, you don't want to stay like, oh God, because every parent has the capacity to share a bit of that pancreas with anybody. So an average adult today has bottled pain, and these are things that have happened over the years that we're not able to release out. And for an adult right now, handling pressure, I'd say the truth is we intentionally want to be happy. You see, we live in a time where people don't understand it's your choice to be happy, and it's not expensive to be happy. So an adult who is handling pressure wrongly or who feels I'm being pressured about life, you should actually
Slow down.
Slow down. Just be happy. See what happens when you decide to take 30 minutes every day to be happy. We do not honor ourselves. We live for people most of the time. I wrote out something, late last night, towards earlier this morning that, don't expect gratitude from anybody. Just be happy with yourself.
Very true.
Don't expect loyalty from anybody. Just be loyal to yourself. You matter. If there's anybody listening to me this morning, you matter. The pressure is getting to you because you're seeing it from the other person's perspective. You just take a chippy or look at yourself. Smile at yourself. We're blessed now. Go on YouTube, watch a commenting. If you react that way, you will come back a better person to the same situation.
Okay, so you talked about gratitude. Don't expect gratitude from people. Don't expect loyalty from people. So I want to talk about performance. And there are many people that they tend to perform excellently well, maybe at work. It could be anything they do just because they want to receive gratitude, just because they want to get applause from people. Now, for those that, no matter how much they put in so much effort, some people are saying, you didn't do anything, I didn't say anything. How should they manage? Because then it eventually turns out to pain. And for some people, it turns out to pressure. I feel it turns out to pressure for people who want to do better. But I think it turns out to pain for people who they feel like, I've done all my best and you still do not see, then it's fine. So how do they manage such outcomes of, I've put in this performance, but it's not appreciated?
Even for the person that you think is performing well, it's because the person is handling the pain well. Say pain doesn't break us, it shapes us and brings out the best in us. And I was writing something down that pain is a polisher, not a punisher. It's for the person that has understanding. So for someone who's performing at work, giving his or her best, number one is it gets you when you're giving your best at the detriment of every other thing.
Oh, okay.
That's why it gets you. Because you're sacrificing so much to please this person. I used to say it, see, when somebody suddenly is unalive in a company, I've not seen a company that shuts down because of that person. I've never seen a company that said, we're going on 3 days, no work, nothing, we lost our staff. No, max is 1 minute silent, and the company moves on. The next day, there's somebody from the office who have moved to that position, or there's an advert of somebody coming in. You see, when life is not balanced, then you expect gratitude from people. Once you're happy with yourself, I'm meant to come in here and make sure the sounds are okay. I love it. A fish does not expect gratitude for swimming. It's your natural habitat. Do you understand? What you're doing is what you will do if you're not being paid. So you're giving your best to it, but that is not all your life. Life is a circle. What is the center of the gravity of your life? The moment you switch it and make it the work, that everything about your life is the work. If someone does not say, you did well, you feel like, didn't you see it? But if you don't even, when someone says, you're not doing better, you just smile. The day I leave here, you know what people are missing. You have this positive attitude to whatever comes to you when you're enjoying it and you live a balanced life. For example, someone has gone in the morning, your kids don't see you, you come back at night, you're tired, then you do all that for like a month, or you've done it for 2 years, then it's time for promotion. Then your name is not on the list.
Not given.
You're heartbroken.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
And what you hear from a person, I give my all to this, and this is what I get after 2 years. Nobody. So once it's balanced, I deserve this promotion, but I'm not being given. What keeps you going is what you're going back home to me, or the other things you do that now compensates you for your life, because your life is not the job.
So I'm going to ask you too one question. How can families and also workplaces help people ease pressure and pain?
I was listening to a material, I think 2 days ago or yesterday, and the guy said something deep in a story that he shared, that he went into a particular thick forest and saw certain people there. And after staying with them for a while, he took them back to the city. And when they got to the city, after like a few weeks, he came that, how are you seeing this? He said, they don't understand. Why do you always leave and come back? And he said, he goes to work. He said, he goes to work. And you not take your family to work? He said, no, it's work. He said, why do you work? He said, for family. He said, but you leave that family to go to work. So at the end, you're working for family, but you still don't have time
For the family.
So I'm saying this from experience that for the workplace, your best staff or the kind of staff you should want are people who have balanced life. You will get more productivity from them. And for someone who wants, you don't get rich at the top. You know, when we did the drug stuff, one of the things we studied was parents don't have time for their kids. So you work so hard to get the money. By the time you get to where the money is, the children you're working for, they just want to squander the money. You see that I've just worked so long, not to. There are top guys in this country who their greatest regrets is family. And I believe strongly that right now in this country, organizations should work towards even therapy for their staff and help them balance. There's no joy in a married man working 9 p.m. when he has a boy to train. I keep saying it. If we believe in that generation that we're talking about the future, it's not just going to happen. We will sacrifice, you know. And for me, I feel people who want to really perform would understand this truth, that once it's balanced, it's easier to even get things done when you have, you know, happy home. And I always say, if the boss, the echelon of the organization does not believe in family, then
You have a big issue.
like we
Big
said,
challenge.
the family is the smallest unit. You get the family right, you get a nation right.
Yes.
Interesting. Now, this has been very, very, like, I like the fact that you found a way to balance it, pressure and pain, and how people can actually manage it, even at homes and at in the offices. But the last one before we let you go, which is a major thing for many Nigerian youths. So many Nigerian youths are under the pressure, two pressures. One, we're going to do this in, I think we've got just 1 minute. Two pressures. One pressure of marriage and another pressure of no jobs. And they'll tell you that, oh, you need to get married, this person's got married, that person's not going to marry. But we see many people who even got married earlier and their marriages are done. And we see many people that, well, they just graduated last year and they found jobs. And people graduated 10 years ago and they don't have jobs. And this pressure, no matter how much you say you know how to manage or master it, these pressures exist. Now, how can younger ones now that might be watching, how can they manage this situation?
Okay, for marriage, marry or just be wise. Don't jump into it and jump out. For job, it's value. Learn to be valuable, create value. I keep saying it. This country has a lot of brilliant people. You go to ShopRite on a Saturday, you see people trying to dance, trying to do that's going to peer pressure. I just want to blow. Everybody's aiming to perform in front of the camera. Nobody's allowing pressure shape them. So for job angle, I'd say an average person should create value. I started working 2006 in school, and I started printing. And today I still print. So when it comes to 9 to 5, it's because of pressure. Parents want you to leave in the morning. Thank
Come
God
back at
for
night.
a season when people started making money from Forex. Before scammers came into it again. Then you went to Bitcoin. Then scammers came into it again. But I keep saying it. If you're going to be valuable, you need to harness information. Seek knowledge. You see someone who says, I'm not doing anything, but check, the person can browse on that phone. He's on TikTok, he's on this, he's on that, not knowing that with the same gadget, he can go on YouTube and learn and improve on his skill. He can get information so much that he'll be teaching things that are natural, but because people are not going after it, by the time he start recording those information, people will start calling him or her to come provide the same service. So for job, I'd advise people to be valuable. Get information.
Thank you very much, sir. We really appreciate this conversation. Thanks for coming. We've been speaking with Olulade Bethel Omoniyi, a youth advocate. We appreciate you for coming, and very powerful words there. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Guys, we need to leave.
Yeah, thank you once again. Thanks for coming. And to be honest, right, I've been able to pick one or two. I've been able to get enlightened with what you said: pain, pressure, and then performance. How did I hear?
Yeah, I've been able to learn something too.
Like, all right, now see you guys next week. Especially, okay.
Thanks for watching. My name is Babumi Agbibi. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
And I am Adidayo Kende.
Bye.
That the morning fantastic. See you with plan, but